everyone, and welcome back to a new and very long due episode of the S-Class. I apologize for having been missing in action for so long, but I had to reset the studio and I hope it looks good and that you can hear me properly. And also I would like to remind you before we open our pill that if you want to be notified when we get a new video, you can simply subscribe to the channel from the subscribe button down here, and you will receive our updates as soon as they are available. So in today's pill we have solid cosmetics versus soaps. Many people are confused about this topic. It's something relatively new that has started to come up now with the new need to find solutions to the use and abuse of plastic in our everyday items, and cosmetics obviously are a big part of them. If any of you have been trying to make the switch from normal cosmetics to solid ones, you might have realized that they are not all the same. The reviews seem to be completely different one from the other, and today I will go into the detail of why this is. There is a very important difference between solid cosmetics, we will use the left side of the board for these, and soaps. So the difference is mainly in the process of production. Solid cosmetics are obtained through extrusion, so they are pressed until the water is extrapolated and all you are left with is a solid block. I will show you what it looks like in a minute. Soaps instead are obtained through saponification, which means adding lye to fats and oils in order to transform them into a solid bar. There are other methods to make soap, but in general this is the main difference. Solid cosmetics usually have a pH which is similar to the one of the skin, so neutral or slightly acidic, whereas soap bars usually are alkaline, so with a pH of 8 and 9. The slightly acid pH of solid shampoos allows, first of all, to seal the follicle of the hair. Secondly, it increases the shine, and thirdly, and I would say most importantly, to reduce and avoid limescale buildup, which is something that is very common instead with soaps, which are used as shampoos. This is especially true if you live in an area where the water is very hard, so very rich with limescale. The basic pH of the soap bar will cause the limescale to stick to your hair, and on the long run this will feel like your hair is always dirty or that it's oily even if you don't generally have oily hair. The solution to this problem is to do an acid rinse with either apple cider vinegar, lemon or some specific product in order to remove this buildup and bring the pH to what it's supposed to be. One other major difference is, of course, that a solid cosmetic requires much more work and more expensive ingredients and therefore will cost quite a bit more compared to a soap. Usually a solid cosmetic is given as equivalent to 2 bottles of normal cosmetic. I won't go in and describe the details of how much because this is a general information. Therefore, when you are buying your solid cosmetic, always keep in mind that it usually means it's equivalent to 2 of the ones that you usually buy. For example, on this one, you will see that it shows exactly what it is equivalent to. Soaps, on the other hand, are much easier to make, so they cost usually much less than what a solid cosmetic would cost. Many people have no problem in washing themselves with the soap, but there are people that find it slightly problematic, whose skin feels particularly dry, or as I said before, whose hair doesn't get properly washed, and maybe they don't want to have an acid rinse after they just wash their hair. Also keep in mind that this can also be a great travel solution, and if you're traveling and you have to take a bottle of apple cider vinegar or any other acid solution with you, it may be not as convenient. Nowadays there are many different brands which offer these kinds of products, and sometimes it can really be confusing to understand which one is the best to buy. How do we know if we are looking at a solid cosmetic or at a soap bar? Well, it's all in the ingredients. The solid cosmetic is usually made from certain surfactants. If you are a fan of natural and organic, you might know how to read labels already. Usually the surfactants have names which can be slightly confusing and may seem not very natural. For example, one of the most common ones is sodium cocoyl isethionate, but you will find others with similar names. It's nothing to worry about. It's in this case, this specific one is a surfactant which is obtained from coconut oil, whereas in soaps you will find the names of saponified oils, for example, sodium cocoate, sodium olivate, etc. So as usual, we get to the end of our video and we ask our usual question: which one? Solid cosmetics are usually more technically performing, and also they usually don't build up and clog pipes, which soaps instead can do. And soaps are usually cheaper, and obviously their ingredient list is shorter and usually a bit more natural. This doesn't mean that solid cosmetics cannot be natural. For example, here we have an organic solid cosmetic from Officina Nature, and here we have a natural soap from Friendly Soap. Both of them are great brands, and their ingredients are both really good. It really depends on what you're looking for. Personally, I prefer to use a solid cosmetic in most cases. I have a very sensitive skin, my hair is curly, it does whatever it wants, so when I did the switch, I realized that I could not use the bars. But again, considering that soap bars are quite cheap, you can always try them. There is very little waste. They now come, most of them, in these cardboard boxes. You can try, see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, then you can decide to invest in a solid cosmetic. This is my advice. I hope you like this video. If you would like to give me feedback on what I said today, or give me suggestions for any other video that you might want to see in the future, please do it. Write it downstairs in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching.